Well, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, depending on when you're watching this, and welcome to another installment of Crossroads Community News. We got an exciting one for you. My name is Cooper Young, as always, and I'm joined by Pastor Mick Kevill and a very special guest today in Mr. Doug Bullock. So we're so excited for this week. Last week was awesome being in the new space, but this week is going to be even better. We're going to do things just a little bit better in a lot of ways. We're going to have some coffee and some food in the lobby. We're going to have some music. Everything is just going to feel even more full and even more fun. And so we are super excited, but the most exciting thing is we're going to get to hear from Mr. Doug Bullock himself, and so we're super excited about that. Mick, what do you got for us?
Well, I think it's important that all of you realize, by the way, it's the Right Holy Reverend.
The Right Holy Reverend.
Most Holy Reverend.
That's what my brother, my son always called it. So with Doug here, it's important for us to remember that Doug Bullock is the founding pastor of Crossroads.
Yeah.
Some of you think that I'm the founding pastor, but the reality is Doug was the senior pastor at Eastern Hills, and we were the first multi-site church in Central New York.
We were rocking it.
I was the site pastor. Doug was the senior pastor, and that was for 5 years that we did it that way.
Before they even knew anything.
Nobody
about
even
multi-site.
talked about
we were
multi-site.
Doing it. We should have been in the conferences.
That's right. We should have been speakers.
Should have been speakers.
So we're glad to have Doug with us, and always just fun to connect. And so, Doug, can you share with some of the folks really know you and Laurel well?
Sure.
The rest will just have to put up with a family update. So tell us what's happening with the Bullocks.
So we left the Eastern Hills 2 years ago and moved down to Charleston, South Carolina, and we spend time playing. Well, actually, for the last year, 3 of our daughters have been down there, so 8 of our 9 grandchildren have been down there.
Busy.
So we play with our grandkids and spend time with our family, do a little house remodeling. Still have to tile a bathroom. So that's got that waiting for me.
You always have a project going. Always. Laurel keeps you busy.
And I drive trolley at the church I go to. They have a trolley in the parking lot.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So I drive trolley and say hi to people. And I work with pastors.
Yes.
And so I spend time encouraging pastors and work with retired pastors and spend, a lot of time doing that. So,
and you're working on your D-Min?
I'm getting my D-Min. Yeah, that's right. I'm going back to school, and so you can call me doctor.
Yeah, that's right.
One of these days.
And most holy right, Dr. Reverend.
Whatever
Wants to figure out all these labels.
all these titles. So Doug, Mick mentioned how you were very revolutionary in even starting that multi-site approach before it was even a thing.
Yeah.
So what was the initial thought in starting Crossroads? What was the vision for it? Why did it come to be, and how did it go when you first rolled out Crossroads?
The initial thought was, no, you can't do that. You want to take 50 people and go start a church over my dead body.
And I said, it was Warren's idea.
So, of course, you had to overcome this desire to hold everything to yourself because none of us ever want change, right?
Right.
And so none of us ever want to lose what we got, and Mick talked about taking some people down at Chittenango, and on the one hand, it made so much sense because Chittenango is a different place than Manlius, and people who live in Chittenango just don't necessarily go by Manlius every day, so it just made a ton of sense. But on the other hand, I remember one of the staff members saying to one of the other staff saying to me, if Mick goes, he's going to take some of our best volunteers. He did. He said, like the folks and the Andersons. He starts naming them,
And it really helped us.
Yeah, it really helped you. And so, change was hard. Change is hard, but you do it for the kingdom, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, it was about this makes sense for the kingdom. This makes sense for touching people for Christ. And if we start a church in Chittenango, we're going to reach people who never come up to Manlius. And so you just got to bite the bullet and do what Christ calls you, and make the changes you need to make for the sake of the kingdom, not for yourself.
Absolutely.
So,
and look how God blessed.
Yeah,
He brought in other volunteers
and then
to take our places.
getting this building, just things opened up, and God just did things.
So, Doug, another thing that you've had a chance to do, and I know you're not a guy to sit around idly and watch old reruns on TV or play golf, 7 days a week.
I can't play golf. I can't play golf at all.
So you've had a lot of time to think, and in this past year, all the chaos that's been going on.
Yeah.
So what do you see as happening both in the culture and in the church, and just some brief thoughts, and I know you're going to be bringing more of this on Sunday morning in your message, but how we as a church respond to what's going on in the culture around us in the world.
Well, I'd say a couple things. I'd say one, this past 18 months has been the hardest I've ever experienced on pastors and on church leaders, and just the incredible turmoil. Just take COVID alone, and the incredible turmoil of having to make decisions week to week, different decisions week to week, and no matter what decisions you make, people are just willing to, share their thoughts, and sometimes, and so leaders are under incredible pressure. I think that, again, anecdotally, as I talked to, for instance, I was talking to an organization that hires interim pastors, and they provide interim pastors for churches. They said they are overloaded now with requests from churches for interim pastors because so many pastors are bailing because it is so incredibly difficult in ministry right now. And there's just a flurry of pastors just saying, "I've had it, I'm done." And it's just because of the difficulty of making decisions, and then no matter what decision you make, you get criticized. And so we just need to not be that way. We need to understand that our leaders are trying to make decisions, and they're trying to lead well and doing the best they can, and just give them all the support you can. Just super grace, because it is so incredibly difficult right now for pastors. And if you have a pastor that's hanging in there and a pastor that's trying to do their best, man, you just need to give them all the support you can. And that's just happening across the country right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So ultimately,
and here's the $50 for saying that.
There you go. Exactly right. That's helpful for us. As always, I think the main theme there is do what Christ calls you to and bring the kingdom right to where you are. That's what we're trying to do here at Crossroads. We're excited to hear from Doug this week. It's going to be an exciting week. As always, this has been CCN, and we will see you later.